Hello friends and welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're making pumpkin layered cheesecake. So what we're going to start out with is two 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese, which we are going to put in with our mixer to try and break it up, soften it up before we add any other ingredients. If you have to, you can set your machine on high. I would start out on medium to low just to break it up at first, because sometimes these are kind of difficult to break up and smooth out. This might take a couple of minutes for you mixing it before you get it smoothed out enough before you can add the next ingredient, but take your time because the more you beat this, the better it is. To this, I am adding 2 eggs. And again, I'm going to mix it because I want to make sure the eggs are incorporated into the cream cheese. Make sure with your mixer you're going around from all sides of the bowl to pull in anything that might be stuck to the sides. Sometimes this will stick a lot. You might actually have to get a spatula or something to bring it down. Some cases you can actually just use your mixer and pull it in. It's really not that hard to do, but you don't want to splatter everything all over your kitchen counter. So once you get it to a point to where you think it's starting to look smooth, then we're going to go ahead with our next ingredients. So as you can see with my mix in my bowl, it is actually smoothed out and it looks really creamy. That's how you're going to know you're ready to move on with it. Just to make sure, just look around the sides, make sure that there's nothing stuck to the edges. Try to pull in anything and everything you can get a hold of. And the next thing we're going to add to this is a cup of sugar. Now, I do a whole cup just because I like my cream cheese mixed up with a lot of sugar to make it sweeter. You could use a half a cup, but your cheesecake will not come out as sweet. I suggest you go ahead with the full cup and mix that completely through. You want to get it incorporated in and make sure that everything in the bowl is smooth. Then you are going to add at least a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then keep going with this until it's completely mixed. Now, if you haven't done it already, you probably need to open up a crust for this. I got the graham cracker kind that comes from the store. You have to pop off that plastic seal and have it ready because in a few minutes you're going to actually put the ingredients into it. At this point, you can go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees because when you put this in your oven, it's going to cook for about 45 to 50 minutes. So keep that in mind, but you do want your oven hot before you go putting this in. So this is our crust, and we are going to scoop out the majority of this mix that we just made, except for about a cup, because you're going to need that to mix in with your pumpkin to do the top layer. So go ahead and scoop it out until you think you have about a cup left in there. And smooth it around because you want this to be kind of flattened when you're putting it in. So just take your spoon and move it back and forth until you smooth this out completely. Now with the rest of this mix, you're going to be adding in at least a half a cup of canned pumpkin. And to this, you're going to add some pumpkin spice and then a half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And once you get those in, you're going to want to stir this up until you've got it completely incorporated into your mix. I prefer to do this with a spoon rather than a mixer because it doesn't really take much effort to mix this up. But this way you can make sure you scrape all the sides and get all of the seasoning into the pumpkin and to the cheesecake. And once you get this done, you're going to gently smooth it out and spread it over top of the actual cheesecake layer you put into your crust already. So once you notice that you've gone completely orange on this, then gently put it over top, because the point is you don't want to push it down in, you want it to smooth out and be a complete layer over top. So if you just spoon it on a little at a time, you can actually smooth this around to where it doesn't push down in. So you might have to work this a little bit to go around it and get it all on. And once you get it in place on top of it, it's easy to smooth out. Just don't push down on it. And as you can see, I've got my whole layer covered. And when it comes out of the oven, it will look something like this. Now, if you want to make it a little bit fancy, you could go ahead and cut a stencil to put on top of this to where you could actually use some powdered sugar to put a design. I cut out a pumpkin and I put the wax paper around the edges just to make sure that the powdered sugar doesn't go anywhere I don't want it to. And then it's just a matter of shaking and putting the powder on top. And when it gets done, it looks something like this. And it's kind of cool to have for a meal, especially during the holidays. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out my cookbook, which is available on Amazon and in bookstores worldwide. And have a great day.